You've seen it before. That corner in your garden that just doesn't feel quite right. Maybe it's too plain, maybe it feels forgotten, or maybe you're tired of looking at the same old pots and stepping stones. You want something fresh, something unique, something that makes your space feel like it has soul. But here's the thing, you don't need a big budget or fancy tools to bring magic to your garden. All you need is a little imagination and a trip to your local thrift store. Welcome to Golden Seniors Gardening, where we believe beauty grows not just from soil, but from stories. Today we're diving into a world where old becomes new again, where forgotten treasures find purpose outdoors, and where every garden can have its own personality, without costing a fortune. So whether you're crafting for yourself, helping a loved one refresh their outdoor space, or simply enjoying the joy of upcycling, these ideas are designed to inspire and delight. Let's begin with our first transformation, a classic piece many of us have tucked away in a cupboard or passed by at garage sales. Idea 1. Teacup Terrariums. There's something timeless about teacups. Whether they belong to your grandmother, were collected over years, or found at a flea market, they carry a sense of elegance and nostalgia. But what if you could turn those delicate dishes into living art? Teacup terrariums are miniature gardens grown inside vintage cups, saucers, or even teapots. They're charming, easy to maintain, and perfect for small spaces like patios, windowsills, or narrow garden shelves. To create one, start by selecting a clean, intact teacup. Make sure it's free of cracks or chips. If there's no drainage hole, line the bottom with activated charcoal and a layer of pebbles before adding potting soil. Then choose small plants like mosses, ferns, air plants, or tiny succulents. Arrange them thoughtfully, like placing brushstrokes on a canvas, and finish with decorative touches like tiny stones, figurines, or dried flowers. Place your teacup terrarium in a shaded area with indirect sunlight and mist it occasionally. These little gardens don't need much, but they give back so much charm. They're especially lovely when grouped together, creating a whimsical display that invites conversation and admiration. And because they're compact, they're perfect for seniors who may not be able to handle large planters or heavy containers. This isn't just gardening, it's storytelling in green. Idea 2. Drawer planters. Now let's talk about furniture, specifically drawers. That old dresser collecting dust in the garage. It might just be hiding a secret life as a planter. An old wooden drawer makes a fantastic container for herbs, wildflowers, or even small vegetables. Its depth gives roots room to grow, and its flat surface allows for easy placement on steps, railings, or walls. Start by cleaning the drawer thoroughly, sand down any rough edges, and apply a weatherproof sealant if you want it to last through seasons. Drill small drainage holes in the bottom, then line it with landscape fabric to keep soil from spilling out. Fill with potting mix and plant your favorites, basil and thyme for a kitchen herb garden, pansies and violas for color, or strawberries for a touch of edibility. Paint the outside for a personalized look, soft pastels for a cottage vibe, natural wood stain for rustic charm, or bold colors for a modern pop. You can hang these drawers using brackets or rope, stack them vertically for a tiered effect, or place them along a fence to add dimension and texture. These drawer planters are more than just flower pots. They're pieces of history reborn in your garden. They remind us that function and beauty can coexist, and that even the most ordinary items can become extraordinary with a little creativity. And the best part? They're lightweight and easy to move, making them ideal for anyone who wants to enjoy gardening without strain. Idea 3. Spoon and fork wind chimes. Have you ever stood outside and wished your garden had a voice? Not just the rustle of leaves or the chirping of birds, but something musical, something made by you. That's where spoon and fork wind chimes come in. Take a set of mismatched silverware from a thrift store, garage sale, or even your own kitchen junk drawer. Clean them well, drill a small hole near the top of each utensil, and thread them onto wires or twine. Attach them to a wooden hanger, driftwood, or even an old picture frame. Hang beads between the pieces for extra movement and sound variation. The result? A gentle melody created by the breeze, clinks, clanks, and chimes that dance through your garden like laughter. These wind chimes are not only eco-friendly, keeping metal waste out of landfills, but also deeply personal. You can collect pieces with meaning, like a family heirloom fork or spoons from a wedding gift set. They work beautifully near porches, above garden beds, or next to a fountain where water and wind can harmonize. It's a simple project, yes, but one that brings joy, music, and a sense of whimsy to your outdoor space. Idea 4, ladder shelf gardens. If you've ever looked at a ladder and thought, what else could this be? Today's your lucky day. Old wooden ladders make stunning vertical gardens. Lean one against a wall, lay it horizontally across 2 posts, or stand it upright in a sunny corner. Between each rung, place small pots, baskets, or shallow boxes filled with trailing plants like ivy, petunias, or sweet potato vine. Or go functional and grow herbs, lettuce, or strawberries in each tier. Paint the ladder in warm tones to match your garden palette, or leave it natural for a rustic farmhouse feel. This design is not only eye-catching, but incredibly space-saving. It adds height and interest to small areas and brings greenery up where it can catch more sunlight. Plus, it's easy to maintain. Just rotate the ladder or move it indoors during harsh weather. This idea is perfect for those who love vertical gardening, have limited ground space, or simply enjoy repurposing everyday objects into something beautiful. It's a reminder that sometimes all you need is a different perspective and a little help from gravity to transform your garden. Idea 5, Enamelware herb gardens. Let's start with something practical yet charming, the Enamelware herb garden. You've probably seen them before, those vintage enamel basins, dented wash tubs, or even camping bowls with chipped edges and faded numbers. They're often sold for next to nothing at thrift stores or flea markets, but they have a quiet kind of magic hidden inside them. With a little care and creativity, these simple containers can become thriving homes for your favorite herbs. Imagine a sunny windowsill or deck railing lined with white enamel basins filled with lush basil, fragrant rosemary, earthy thyme, and vibrant mint. The contrast between the crisp white finish and the deep green foliage is striking, clean, fresh, and full of life. To make one, simply clean the basin thoroughly. If it leaks or shows signs of rust, line the inside with a plastic grow bag or use a smaller pot that fits snugly inside. Fill with quality potting soil and plant your herbs. Place the basin on a stand, hang it from a hook, or set it directly on a table near your kitchen door. Not only does this bring convenience, fresh herbs within arm's reach, but it also adds a touch of vintage charm to your outdoor cooking area. These Enamelware gardens work especially well in small spaces like balconies, patios, or narrow garden beds. And because they're lightweight, they're easy to move around depending on the season or sunlight. They're also incredibly nostalgic, reminding many of us of childhood kitchens, old-fashioned laundry rooms, or summer camps where meals were made over open fires. This idea is perfect for seniors who enjoy cooking, gardening, or simply having fresh ingredients close by. It's more than a planter. It's a piece of living history, gently growing in your garden. Idea 6, Typewriter key plant labels. Now let's shift gears from large containers to something much smaller, but equally meaningful. Have you ever come across an old typewriter? Maybe in a junk shop, or in someone's garage sale collection. Those keys, tiny, metal, and slightly mysterious, are just begging to be used again. Instead of letting them collect dust, why not turn them into elegant plant labels? Here's how it works. Collect individual letters from different typewriters, then press them into small clay tiles, wooden blocks, or even embedded into concrete pavers. You can spell out the names of your herbs, flowers, or vegetables, or create short messages like grow, bloom, or peace. Paint the keys lightly if needed, then seal them with a weather-resistant varnish so they last outdoors. Place them among your plants like little signs guiding the way through your garden. The result is both functional and artistic, a way to label your plants while adding a literary flair to your space. This idea is particularly lovely for herb gardens, where knowing what's growing where can be both helpful and decorative. It also brings a sense of storytelling to your garden, each letter a character in the unfolding tale of your outdoor oasis. Plus, it's a great project for anyone who loves language, poetry, or nostalgia. Whether you're labeling rosemary, lavender, sage, or sunflowers, these typewriter key labels add a personal touch that mass-produced garden markers simply can't match. They remind us that even the smallest details can carry meaning, and that every garden, no matter how big or small, has its own voice. Idea 7. Vintage lantern birdhouses. Now imagine this. A soft breeze rustling through the trees, sunlight filtering down in golden beams, and somewhere nearby the cheerful chirping of birds. What if you could invite more of that joy into your garden? Not just with feeders or bird baths, but with something truly special. Enter the vintage lantern birdhouse. Take an old lantern, perhaps one that once hung on a porch or sat on a windowsill collecting dust, and transform it into a cozy home for feathered friends. Remove any glass panes, drill a small entrance hole near the top, add a perch below, and mount it on a post or hang it from a tree branch. You can paint the lantern in muted tones like sage green or sky blue for a rustic look, or go bold with red or black for dramatic effect. Add some moss or lichen around the base for extra charm. Watching birds flit in and out of your handmade birdhouse becomes a daily pleasure, a reminder that your garden isn't just for humans, it's for nature too. These lanterns work beautifully near flower beds, above water features, or along garden paths where their silhouettes catch the light and cast playful shadows. They're also durable, built to withstand rain, wind, and time. This idea is ideal for those who love wildlife, appreciate repurposed design, and want to encourage pollinators and songbirds into their outdoor space. It's a gentle way to blend function and beauty and to remind ourselves that gardens are not just for growing plants, but for nurturing life. Idea 8, gears and cog garden sculptures. Let's take a sharp turn now, from delicate teacups and lanterns to something bold, industrial, and unexpectedly beautiful. If you've ever passed by a scrapyard or antique shop and noticed piles of rusty gears, cogs, and sprockets, you might not have thought much of them. But these mechanical remnants hold a secret. With a bit of welding, bolting, or creative assembly, they can become stunning garden sculptures, modern, edgy, and full of personality. Arrange them vertically on a wooden or metal base, or stack them horizontally to form a wall-mounted display. Spray paint them in metallic shades like copper, bronze, or matte black for added drama. Add moss between the gears, wrap fairy lights around them, or place them near a fountain where water can echo off their surfaces. These sculptures are conversation starters, blending the natural world with elements of industry and machinery. They add contrast and depth to gardens that lean toward rustic, bohemian, or steampunk styles. They're also incredibly durable, able to withstand all kinds of weather without losing their visual impact. This idea is perfect for those who love unique decor, enjoy tinkering with metalwork, or want to bring a bit of urban flair into their backyard. It proves that gardens don't always have to be soft and flowing. Sometimes they can be strong, structured, and surprisingly poetic. Idea 9, bicycle wheel trellis. Let's start with something nostalgic, the kind of item that might still be leaning in the corner of a garage or propped against a fence post. Forgotten but full of potential. An old bicycle wheel, maybe one that belonged to a child years ago or found at a yard sale for just a few dollars, can become more than just a memory of past rides. With a little creativity, it becomes a trellis for climbing vines. Here's how it works. Remove the tire and inner tube, clean the rim thoroughly, and if needed, give it a fresh coat of weatherproof paint. Then mount it upright in the ground using a metal stake through the center hub. Or lean it against a wall or tree. Now train flowering vines like sweet peas, clematis, or morning glories to grow through the spokes. As they climb, they weave themselves into the structure, creating a living sculpture that moves with the wind and changes with the seasons. The result is both functional and poetic, a way to support vertical growth while adding visual interest to your garden. The circular shape draws the eye upward, and the shadows cast by the spokes dance across the ground like clock hands marking time. This idea is especially charming near patios or walkways, where the delicate flowers can be enjoyed up close. And because it's made from repurposed materials, it's a sustainable way to bring beauty to your outdoor space without spending much at all. It's a gentle reminder that even things we no longer use can still have a place in our lives, especially when they help us grow something new. Idea 10, book page roses. Now let's shift from metal in motion to something softer. Paper, old books with yellowed pages, broken spines, or missing covers often end up in donation piles or recycling bins. But what if those pages could bloom again? That's where book page roses come in, a simple yet elegant craft that turns forgotten literature into timeless garden decor. Start by selecting pages with interesting textures or vintage fonts. Tear them gently along the edges for a natural look. Roll each strip tightly from one corner, securing the base with a dab of glue. Then gently loosen the outer layers to form soft, flowing petals. Arrange several of these roses together in a mason jar, lantern, or wooden crate. You can even wrap the stems with floral wire and tuck them into wreaths or garlands for seasonal displays. Seal them lightly with a waterproof spray or varnish, so they can withstand light rain or humidity, and place them under a glass cloche or on a covered porch where they'll stay dry. These paper blooms never wilt, never need watering, and carry with them the quiet magic of stories long told. They're perfect for seniors who love crafting, enjoy literature, or want to add a touch of romance to their garden without the maintenance of real flowers. Each rose is a tribute to the past, a way to preserve memories in a different form, blooming quietly in the sunlight. Idea 11. Mason jar lanterns. Now imagine this, dusk settling over your garden, the sky painted in soft hues of lavender and gold. The air cools slightly, and the first crickets begin to chirp. What if you could extend the joy of your garden into the evening hours? Not with harsh overhead lights, but with a soft, glowing warmth that invites relaxation and wonder. Enter the mason jar lantern. These humble glass jars, commonly found at thrift stores or saved from kitchen pantry shelves, become stunning lanterns with just a few simple additions. Begin by cleaning the jars thoroughly. Remove any labels and polish the glass until it shines. Then insert battery-operated LED candles or fairy lights inside for a safe, flickering glow. You can personalize each jar by painting designs onto the outside, wrapping them in lace or twine, or etching patterns into the glass. Hang them from shepherd's hooks, tree branches, or pergola beams, or set them on tables and steps for ambient lighting. The effect is magical. A constellation of soft lights scattered throughout your garden, casting playful reflections in welcoming evening strolls. Mason jar lanterns are easy to make, incredibly versatile, and perfect for anyone looking to create a cozy, inviting outdoor space after sunset. They're also great for seasonal decorating. Swap out the ribbon colors for holidays, add pine cones and berries for winter, or hang them with tiny tags that read grow, bloom, or dream. This idea brings warmth, safety, and a sense of enchantment to your garden, proving that even the simplest objects can become something extraordinary with just a little thought. Idea 12. Turtle shell planters. Now let's take a step into the whimsical side of garden design, where charm meets function in the most unexpected ways. If you've ever come across a turtle-shaped dish, figurine, or planter at a thrift store or antique market, you may have smiled at its quirky design and moved on. But what if that turtle could come to life again? Not as decoration, but as a planter. Turtle shell planters are exactly that. Adorable, character-filled containers that bring a smile to your face and a touch of personality to your garden. To transform one, simply drill a small hole in the bottom or belly of the turtle, add drainage rocks, and fill with potting soil. Choose trailing plants like ivy, sedum, or air plants that will spill gracefully from the shell. Paint the shell with waterproof acrylics for added vibrancy, bright greens, earthy browns, or even metallic accents for a modern twist. Place the turtle among stones, moss, or in a Zen-style rock garden for a serene setting. These planters are especially beloved by children and collectors alike, making them ideal for gardens shared with grandchildren or placed in community spaces. They're low profile, easy to care for, and bring a lighthearted energy to any outdoor area. More than just a container, a turtle shell planter symbolizes patience, growth, and the slow, steady journey of gardening itself. And in a world that often moves too fast, there's something deeply comforting about watching green life grow gently from the back of a smiling stone turtle. Idea 13. Mask garden statues. Let's begin with something unexpected. Theatrical masks, once used for stage performances or costume parties, now reborn as captivating garden statues. These expressive faces, joyful, sorrowful, mysterious, bring an artistic flair to any garden. Whether Venetian, Greek, or carnival-inspired, they add drama, depth, and a sense of wonder. To create your own mask garden statue, start by selecting a mask made from wood, papier-mâché, or resin. Paint it in vibrant colors or subtle tones depending on your garden's palette. Seal it with a waterproof varnish so it withstands sun and rain. Mount the mask on a wooden stake, stone pedestal, or even embedded in a wall planter. Place them among foliage, near a fountain, or tucked into a quiet corner where their gaze seems to follow you. Pair them with soft lighting, string lights woven around the mask, or a lantern placed nearby, and watch how they come alive after sunset. These statues are conversation starters, perfect for gardens that lean toward the mystical, the artistic, or the simply curious. They remind us that gardens aren't just about nature. They're also about expression, about bringing pieces of ourselves into the earth. Idea 14. Drawer herb gardens. Now let's return to something practical, yet deeply personal, a drawer herb garden. You may recall we touched on drawer planters earlier, but this time we're focusing specifically on transforming old dresser drawers into compact, organized spaces for growing culinary herbs. This idea is especially ideal for seniors or those with limited mobility, as the height and layout make harvesting easy without bending or kneeling. Choose a shallow drawer, not too deep, just enough to hold soil and roots. Sand the edges. Apply a weatherproof sealant if needed. And drill small drainage holes. Fill with potting mix and plant basil, thyme, oregano, parsley, or any combination of your favorite cooking herbs. Arrange them neatly, like tools in a toolbox, or in a wilder, more natural pattern. Paint the outside in warm tones to match your garden theme. Soft greens, rustic browns, or even bright reds and yellows for a cheerful look. Mount the drawer on brackets along a sunny fence. Hang it from a pergola beam, or set it directly on a table near your kitchen door. Not only does this bring fresh flavor within reach, but it also adds a handmade touch to your garden, a reminder that beauty can grow wherever you choose to plant it. It's gardening with purpose, both nourishing the body and the soul. Idea 15, vintage mirror garden accents. Let's end where we began, with reflection. Old mirrors, perhaps from a forgotten vanity, a discarded picture frame, or a flea market treasure, can become stunning focal points in your garden. A mirror leaning against a tree, mounted on a post, or hung from a pergola reflects light, creates depth, and gives the illusion of a larger space. Clean the glass thoroughly, and sand down the frame, if it's wooden. If the mirror has a damaged surface, consider leaving it as is in. Imperfections add character and a sense of history. Place it where it catches morning sunlight or evening glow. Watch how it dances across your flowers, reflecting petals in real time, creating a living mosaic. Surround it with climbing vines, trailing plants, or tall grasses that frame its edges like nature's own gilded border. In small gardens, this trick of light and reflection makes the space feel expansive. In large gardens, it becomes a magical surprise, a hidden portal to another view of your world. Mirrors don't just reflect, they enhance, elevate, and transform. And in a garden built from imagination and thrift store treasures, they're the perfect finishing touch. So here we are, 15 ways to bring artistry, function, and sustainability into your garden, all without spending much at all. From teacup terrariums to mirrored reflections, these ideas prove that beauty grows not only from seeds, but from stories, memories, and the simple joy of giving new life to what already exists. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If you enjoyed this journey through upcycled garden design, please consider liking this video, subscribing for more inspiration, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us which idea you'll be trying first, or better yet, show us how you brought your own vision to life. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep planting, and remember, the most magical gardens are the ones made with heart, peace, love, and garden vibes. Your friends at Golden Seniors Gardening.